Tax issues is the last section in the main window. I'll click on the plus sign here so you can see all the subdivisions. The first one deals with child dependency exemptions, the second one with spousal support adjustments, and the third one presents the parties' income tax returns in a side-by-side arrangement. And finally, the last one is a combined summary of all the tax information. I'll start by saying that on none of these reports is it necessary for you to do any data entry. They are strictly informational. Starting with the child dependency exemption issue, that is, exemptions versus taxes, the example that we've been using here with one child is not really a good one for purposes of demonstrating how cool this form is, but basically what it does is compare the tax results of every possible parenting arrangement. In other words, with the one-child scenario that we have here, there are two possibilities. The child dependency exemption going to the husband, or the dependency exemption going to the wife. That's it. MA analyzes the tax consequences of both, and it tells us that the combined tax liabilities at the federal and state level for both parents is less when the wife takes the dependency exemption. What we see here in the rightmost column is that when the wife takes the exemption, the parties have a total tax liability of $9,574, whereas when the husband takes the dependency exemption, the parties owe $10,669. So the parties enjoy an $1,100 tax break when the wife takes the dependency exemption for the only child. MA arrives at that figure by taking the federal tax liability and adding it to the Ohio tax liability and then doing that for both parties. And then it compares the totals. It's kind of neat to see the breakdown when you've got 3 or more children because MA will show you the combined tax liability. For example, when dad takes all 3 and the wife takes none, when dad takes 2 and the wife takes 1, when the husband takes 1 and the wife takes 2, and finally when the husband takes none and the wife takes 3. And then after it breaks them all down, it shows you the lowest value in red. The summary sheet presents that same information in another way, and you can take a look at the summary sheet by downloading the PDF that contains a complete printout of the sample file that we've been using here. Or you can download the MAB file itself and view it in your own copy of MA 2010 if you have one. Now moving along to the spousal support subsection, you'll find that it's very much like the lifestyle form in that it takes an entire range of spousal support orders and shows you at what point the parties' combined tax liability is least. In that respect, it's also like the exemption report that we just looked at. In our example, the lowest tax liability occurs at a spousal support level of $25,974. From that, you can tell that this information doesn't really always help you in terms of coming to an agreeable spousal support amount, and the lowest tax level doesn't always bear a relationship to the level of income. Or I should say a relationship to the income equalization. But once again, it's better to have the information available and not need it than to need it and not have it. The summary sheet shows you the tax consequences of a $19,047 support amount, and it ends up saving the husband $2,229 and ends up costing the wife $2,857. Now, it's good to know this information. And don't forget that Factor L requires that the court consider that. If you ever need or want to know how the tax figures are calculated, then the third subdivision of the tax issues section is the one to take a look at. It presents the parties' income tax returns side by side. Click on the federal item and you'll see a comparison of the parties' 1040s. Click on the Ohio item and you'll see a line-by-line comparison of the Ohio income tax form IT 1040. And of course, the tax returns are calculated on the basis of whatever spousal support amount has been set. So, finally, there's an attached summary sheet that shows you the tax consequences of spousal support at a particular level, and it combines all of the relevant information from the other tax reports that we've covered already.